It is October here in the UK, and that means that the whole industry has gone into sale this year. Big clearance sale. So we had a thought. What is the best value road bike we can find for the average Cycle to Work scheme voucher?
And what's that price point there?
Well, I think £2,500 to £3,000. My thinking is £3,000, I think, is probably the most common Cycle to Work scheme voucher. And people hold a bit back for pedals, shoes, helmet, whatever, don't they? So £2,500 is a challenge.
Okay.
What can we find in the sale, in stock, that you can buy right now for £2,500?
I've been Googling. You guys have been Googling. There's one that jumped out at me straight away, which was the Cannondale SuperSix Evo 4, which is a 2024 model.
Great bike.
Yeah, no, but I mean, in terms of, it's got a 105 on it.
So coming under budget.
Yeah.
Shimano 105 Mechanical Groupset. I think we're going to find that quite a lot, actually.
Absolutely. And it was 2,399. So I've got some spare cash, but obviously some compromises, alloy wheels, but not a bad.
They are DT Swiss. So at least they are branded aluminium. Yeah. So you got that whole upgrade path. You can repair them. I'm up for that. Yeah, that's okay. 2,000cc coming under budget, but
I know you're going to pull it apart in some way.
First of all, it's made by Cannondale.
It is made by Cannondale. This is the one with the BSA inserts though, isn't it? So they might have got the bottom bracket right. It's disappointing, I think, that you still can't get carbon wheels when other brands are offering carbon wheels at that price point.
Well, yeah, you see, I also did some Googling, as we like to do here. And I feel like I've beaten you already, because first of all, my bike is £2,300. So I've got £100 more to play with.
£2,300. Go on, what you found?
So I went on the Canyon website as a fan of Mathieu van der Poel. And I found the Canyon Ultimate CSL7, which is actually the last generation. So yours is current generation. But it comes with the same DT Swiss wheels, the exact same wheels.
Okay, snap.
Interesting.
The same 105 mechanical group set.
Okay.
But I have a carbon cockpit handlebar. I have an integrated one-piece handlebar on my bike for £100 less.
Chomp in mine.
The thing is, if we're talking about the best carbon for your money, we can't ignore Giant. I love to hate Giant, and I hate to I love it sometimes. So I think we have to put in the Giant TCR, because we've already discussed the benchmark bike.
Yes.
Anything when we're talking about road bikes has to be in context to the famous Giant TCR. Advanced Pro Disc 2, 2,550. So just a smidge over budget, just a smidge, but carbon wheels.
The Giant carbon wheels, I take it.
Yes, they are Giant carbon wheels. Yes, they are hookless.
Oh, so you've purchased a bong for £2,500.
Now, Jake, it's perfectly safe as long as you follow the instructions. But yeah, carbon wheels, they are the Giant branded one with sort of fake DT Swiss internal hubs, but Giant tyres. And again, the 105 mechanical, I think the 105 mechanical group set is a pretty common theme at this price point. And that's okay, that's all right. But again, carbon seat post, aluminium handlebars. But I think for the most carbon for your money, £2,550.
That's over budget.
It is just a little bit, yeah. It's just a little bit.
I think £50 is close enough that we can give them a pass this time.
And it also has that annoying 1 1/4 stem thing, which means you have to buy an expensive Giant stem if you want to actually change a stem on it. Right, come on, Specialized fanboy. Yeah. What have Specialized got to offer this party?
I'm quite disappointed, actually. I went on the Specialized website because I was thinking, you know me, I love my Specialized, and I thought, right, we're going to get in here with a value build, and I'm going to trump everyone with a Specialized. But you get the same bike as everyone else for an extra 300, 400 quid.
Here's the thing though, guys. I've also been getting whole bunch of emails from all of our suppliers about the bits and pieces that are in clearance right now. I think we can build a bike that's better than all of those for about the same money.
What do you think? Where do we start? What's the frame?
Well, we only really do with 2 brands. Look and time. I can hear people laughing. Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Map deck custom build for £2,500. We're going to start with the Shimano 105 mechanical group set. This seems to be the benchmark in this category, as we've seen from all those other bikes we've just shown you, except now we have the option that we can choose what cranksets we want, because this is a 170mm crank. 165s are nearly always out of stock. It seems like the buyers haven't been paying attention to what the trends are, and a 3450 compact, because we live in the hills, which means that we can also choose the 11 through to 36 cassette to make this into a hill climbing machine. Everything else is all standard bits and pieces. We've got our disc rotors, we've got our hydraulic shifters, our rear mech, our front mech, Next up, finishing kit. We've gone for finishing kit from Deda. This is their standard 0 range. This is a 44 centimeter. They go outside to outside, which actually means a 42. So remember that if you're buying Deda stuff, just kind of size down or look where they measure it. And we have a aluminium seat post. Yes, this is a compromise. We'll explain that in a second, but we've also gone for a good quality Prologo saddle. This is the Kappa Evo T2. Good saddle, suits an awful lot of people, but when you get a custom, you can spec whatever you want. And we're just keeping with the Deda theme here with a standard 100mm stem. And of course, matching Prologo, and all look red. What frame have we got in mind? And of course, we probably don't have the budget to go tubeless, so a couple of Pirelli tubes with 60mm valves. Okay, what's coming? So wheels. I bet you never saw this coming, but these are a set of 50mm deep carbon wheels. Yet we're going to fit these to a £2,500 bike. So these are made by a company called Halo. Halo are better known in the mountain bike industry for making some pretty indestructible wheels, but they also do a pretty good range of road bike wheels. And these are on clearance right now, and that's what it's all about. So these are 50mm deep carbon rims and on the Halo hubs. Halo are brilliant at providing spares. They're pretty much a global distribution and they supply absolutely everything. You name it, you can normally go on and find the part for a Halo hub. Also got loads of free hub adapters and all that stuff you would expect to see. The spokes are their own, but again, readily available, probably more available than some pillar spokes. And the nipples are aluminium, so we've made a little bit of a concession to what would be absolutely perfect in my mind. But these are on a 21mm internal to a 28mm external. These are going to really suit a 28, 30, 32mm road tyre. Right, you're adding all this up in your mind thinking, how the hell are they going to get a frame into all of this and still be under £2,500? Well, got a surprise for you. What's in the box? This is a Look 785 Huez. Bet you never saw that coming. However, this is the 2023 model year one, so not the current release. So it means it still has the external cable. So the cables are internal to the headset and they run external, whereas the new one is all internal. It also has the bigger headset and the slightly revised geometry. This is a classic road bike, really classic angles, general purpose road bike, and really well made. Some of the features: 27.2 seat post, fantastically well finished, really good brake mounts, standard mech hanger, all of that sort of good stuff. It is BB86 or PF41 and standard size headset bearings and everything. And look at that color. There is the matching fork, bright gloss red, faded into a black satin. Let's get this beauty built and see what it really looks like. One more thing, tires, and they can be super expensive. To try and squeeze all this under budget, we have found these. These are the Schwalbe Pro 1 TT. Yeah, the TT ones are on massive clearance right now, and these are in a size 28. Which means you can pick up a fantastically fast tyre for next to no money and get this whole build under £2,500. Not loving the sidewall colour. Jake's got some explaining to do. So you guys want to know about the quality of this frame? Well, we've given it a really good inspection, as you can imagine. So I've taken the rear mech hanger off and everything is as clean as you would expect. The brake mounts are slightly raised, perfect. Now, I have to admit, I have taken a little file and just filed off a tiny little edge of paint just where I was concerned that the paint was slightly above where these are. But we've had the mount on here, this all looks beautifully flat. The bottom bracket, now this is actually marginally undersized, and I mean fractionally. Let me show you. So this is a bore micrometer, and when I show you the readings on this, remember we've got the millimeter readings here, and then every one rotation is half a millimeter. So you won't see a 0.98, you'll see a 0.45 something. It's important to get this as lined up as you can, and when you hear the clicks, that's the tension that you stop. So this is measuring 40.95 exactly on this side. We are at 40.96 millimeters. So for this particular build, we are just going to be using the standard Shimano bottom bracket. There's still plastic ones and there's plenty of compliance built into the system. If I was going to build this with a more high quality aluminium bottom bracket, I might be tempted just to ream that out by a couple of microns to give myself a bit of room, but that is ready to build. The face is beautifully flat. I can run my fingers around there. That is beautifully smooth. Here is your headset, an all internal headset, and how the cable routes run. So these are actually on like little internal tubes. So your cabling's going to run on the inside of these things here. Down the bottom, these come out at the bottom bracket. This is a really strong ABS plastic fitting. I like this because there's no aluminium fittings down here that can just corrode, and to get these out you just put either a pair of pliers in there and just lever it out if you need to, and then obviously the cable runs all the way through there. The braze-on mount is actually 3 little rivets, and there's a little Di2 exit point here if you want. So this is absolutely solid. Very quickly on the fork, there was just the tiniest little bit of paint here. It wasn't overspray, it was where the masking tape wasn't quite big enough. So I've just taken a file and just taken off that tiny little edge there. That's all I've done on the fork. All these all look fantastic. Now you will see that the dropouts are cut open on one side. So these use the Mavic dropout style. So the actual axles stay in the wheel. You unscrew it and then pull it out part way, and then the wheel just comes out. So the idea is you don't lose your through axles. It's meant to be for quicker changes. In short, typical look quality. Very, very happy with that. Here we go then, Jake, this was your creation, this was your idea. Now you've seen it in the flesh after I built it. What do you think? Are you loving it?
Yeah, I think it's quite nice. Specifically, I really like the Tanwall tyres. I think it tops off the bill.
I wasn't so sure. I think that Tanwall should be Tanwall, and these are a little bit brown for my liking, but it does look classy, I will concede. And they are definitely the fastest tyre you're going to get for that money.
Yeah.
Maybe this red could match a little bit better, but I do like that Prologo bar tape.
Yeah, it's nice and grippy, it works well, and it doesn't break the bank,
So the question is this, of all the bikes we talked about at the start of this video, is this the best bike for £2,500?
Well, the Giant TCR, £2,550, is certainly a good option because everything you see here, all parts included, is £2,500. But yes, that is only as parts.
Yes, that is the £2,500, by the way, is us delivering all these parts to you for a home build. That's not built by us. That is a little concession we've had to make.
So £2,750 basically built up. That is, I think you are getting more bike for your money than you get anywhere else.
Yeah, so 2,750 is built by Mapdeck and fitted. So that includes you coming to us, doing a final bike fit where we check all the stem and we change the handlebars and the stem and we cut the steerer tube for you. That is 2,750, that whole service.
I don't think you're going to get a nicer bike to ride, a faster bike to ride, I would argue as well, for that sort of money.
The SuperSix Evo and the Merida aero bikes, but they come with less than aero wheels out of the box. So you could argue they could upgrade it to a more aero bike, but out of the box, with these wheels, I think this is the most aero bike you can probably get for £2,500.
I would probably be inclined to agree. I think the only thing that you would miss in the upgrade path is the fully integrated headset cable routing. But I would honestly argue for that this price point, that's an advantage to have the external cable routing at the front, because it doesn't when you come to service it, it makes changing the headset a 15-minute job, not 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think once you get into that very high-end bikes, you're also going to have to accept very high-end service costs as well to get into those bearings, or expensive bearings to avoid the high ends, like we've covered on the channel before, getting into the stainless steel bearings and all sorts of things. So I think if this is the price point, this is actually an advantage. You can do most of the maintenance yourself or quite cheaply at a bike shop for sure.
I would agree. Now, talking of upgrade path, is if you're looking at this bike at £2,500, it's ready to ride off the shelf, very, very nice, but what are the things you'd want to change on it? Because at this price, there is always compromises.
Well, I think we built this bike knowing that if someone's going to be doing it themselves, what's the easiest thing to upgrade? Easiest thing to upgrade straight away, carbon seat post. Two bolts and you've got a carbon seat post. About 150 quid extra will get you a Deda carbon seat post, like one of these, one of our favourites, the Super Legeras. Saves about 80 to 90 grams, potentially adds a little bit of compliance, and it looks cool.
Yeah, so it looks cool.
Easiest, everybody can do that upgrade. After that, I think I would just go for an Ultegra cassette. The Ultegra cassette here, 348 grams as opposed to the 389. That is a 1136 though. Saves you about 40 grams.
Now you see, this is interesting because the first thing that actually sprung to my mind was the disc rotors, because the Dura Race disc rotors, first of all, they look phenomenal. That's the number one thing. Secondly, they're really light. And thirdly, they actually stop better. than the cheaper rotors as well.
They do. I didn't actually weigh the difference between the Dura Race ones. I did do the Ultegra ones because I thought that's probably going to be a more reasonable one. But if you swapped both of those rotors out, that saves you about 60 grams of doing that, and yeah, some better stopping power as well. The other difference between going to Ultegra, the whole group set, would be that you get the servo wave technology in the brakes and the Di2 obviously. So that begs the question, if you really wanted to upgrade from the start, an upgrade for the entire thing, 105 Di2 would be an extra 400 quid at current prices.
Fairly reasonable.
Prices fluctuate so much, aren't they? So if you just wanted to go Di2, 400 quid. The only real advantage to that is the electronic shifting.
And it looks a little bit better because you don't have the rat's nest of cables at the front.
Yeah, you lose a couple of cables, so for sure. Then that begs the question, if we keep going down that path, the Ultegra is the benchmark group set, what everybody wants. Right now, current price of that would mean an extra £700 to go for Ultegra Di2, and then you do get the servo wave technology and the better brakes and the lighter group set as well. So 700 quid upgrade. We're getting there, aren't we? Yeah. So I think you could keep going this, but I think all those things that we've talked about, once you've got the frame and the wheels solid, you can
start to customize to your heart's content.
Yeah, absolutely. And the wheels is interesting for me. The Halo stuff. Now, I know that loads of people in the comments are going to go, what about Fast Sports and what about Scribe? And these are really heavy. These come in at just over 1,500 grams, so comparable to...
I think that's a fairly reasonable weight for a 50 mil wheel.
It is reasonable as opposed to exceptional or above average, let's say.
But for the price you're paying, I think that is, I think that's a reasonable weight.
So I found some Scribe ones which advertise a little bit lighter, but such a small amount in it, was it weighed with tubeless tape, etc., and all that sort of thing. So about the same, for about the same money, but the Scribe hubs with that stupid little spring stuff.
And they sound like a clock as well, don't they, when you spin them?
I think I am really, really happy that I could recommend these because Halo hubs are fantastic, and also you can get spares the whole world over. You can absolutely thrash these to an inch of their life, and you can ring up Halo or go to most bike shops and say, I need an axle, I need a spacer, I need a free hub body, and they go, yeah, okay, get one.
Yep.
And that for me is a massive, massive plus point on that. Especially at this price point, I think that durability and dependability is probably more important than absolute all-out performance.
I would agree.
With that all said, you can now buy this on our website for a limited period. There are not a lot of these frames left. We're going to be taking pre-orders pretty much over the next couple of days. That link is going to be down below. Once we sell out, we'll put a big banner up there saying sold out. Turnaround time for this, it probably takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get everything imported from France with these frames. We've got some stock reserved. The Halo wheels, we've got some stock reserved as well. Shimano 105 group sets are mostly in stock apart from a few crank sets. Hopefully get this to you fairly soon. Whole lot of options. You can buy the frame only. You can get this build as you see it delivered to your door in parts for you to build at home. Or you can give us a call and Jake will respond with that and give you a quote for your own personalised custom build. So if you do want to make any little changes like that, we're open to all your crazy ideas. Even bring your own wheels or whatever you've got. With that all said, time for you to get back in the comments. Tell us what you think. Have we beaten the big boys at their own game here and provided an excellent value bike or not? Over to you. And with that, thanks for watching. Take it easy.
See ya.